Welcome back to Living Local. As COVID lingers, the majority of Americans will continue to stay at home over the holidays. One way to keep yourself engaged and sweeten up this challenging season is by getting creative in the kitchen. Today we're getting some DIY dessert inspiration. Joining us via Zoom today is Scott Jones with eMeals. Scott, thanks for joining us.
Good to be here.
So Scott, why is now a great time for folks to try their hand at something new in the kitchen?
Well, it's always a good time to try desserts, but the fact is that, around the holidays, folks likely know what they're going to be preparing as their main dish, whether it's a turkey or a ham or a standing rib roast, but everyone is looking for that kind of show-stopping dessert. So at eMeals, we've created, we always have lots of wonderful desserts, but we're highlighting some very special desserts for the holidays that are very simple to make, but are really wonderful and really scratch that itch for comforting, cozy desserts.
I love that. And Scott, I am one of those people that my eye is always on the dessert whenever I go into a holiday meal. I mean, the main course, don't get me wrong, it's great, but to me, it's all about the solid, delicious, life-changing dessert. And today you're going to be showcasing some DIY desserts for folks to try at home. First up, we have the rum raisin bread pudding. So how can we make this?
Well, bread pudding, it's kind of a classic New Orleans kind of dessert, and this is a fairly straightforward mix of cream and eggs and sugar, cinnamon. You add a little bit of light rum to jazz it up a little bit. That rum, that alcohol evaporates as it bakes, but then you take the bread, and this is a great use for leftover bread if you have it. And you cube that up and you soak it in this cream mixture. Now, the secret to this is to cube up the bread the night before so it kind of dries out. That actually allows the bread cubes to soak up the maximum amount of this cream mixture. Then you bake it off and you make this quick sauce with just 3 ingredients, rum, brown sugar, and butter. And then once the bread pudding has baked, you drizzle this wonderful buttery rum sauce over the top, and it's just absolutely dynamite. And again, very easy to make, just a few ingredients.
Oh my goodness, it sounds so delicious. And thank you so much for that tip about cutting the bread into pieces the night before. Yeah. I think a lot of folks would think maybe the fresher the bread, the better, but make it stale. It'll soak up more of the cream sauce there. So that's good to know.
That's right. It's counterintuitive, but it's what the chefs do.
There you go. The next DIY dessert is a skillet cookie with caramel ice cream. Oh my gosh, it sounds amazing. So tell us more about this dessert.
First of all, let me just give you a shot of this beauty. I hope you can see this. This is the cookie baked in the cast iron skillet. And actually, this is what it looks like, drizzled with the caramel sauce with a little bit of that caramel ice cream on top. But essentially, it's a giant skillet-sized cookie, but it's filled with chocolate chunks, toffee bits, toasted pecans. You bake it for about 40 minutes in a 12-inch cast iron skillet. Now, if you don't have a cast iron skillet, a 13x9 baking dish will work, so don't flip out. It's just that, we like to make it in a cast iron skillet because it just kind of adds a little more, we think, kind of beauty to it. And then you can top it with your favorite caramel ice cream and caramel sauce. And those, you can make your own, but they're super easy to pick up at the grocery store. So we focus on making this cookie and then just adding your favorite ice cream and store-bought caramel sauce. This is one of those recipes that the kids can help make. It serves a crowd, and there's just something really special about the notion of a cookie put into like this giant skillet. It's wonderful.
Right, and when you showed us that skillet and you just see how thick that cookie is, oh my gosh, it almost looks like a cake, really. Like, it looks so amazing. Talk about comfort food.
That's right.
All right, Scott, then we have a tres leches cake. What does this recipe involve?
Well, listen, this is probably one of my favorite, my all-time favorite desserts, the tres leches cake. And so tres leches means 3 milks. So this is a classic kind of Latin dessert for the holidays, and it uses 3 milks. The batter itself uses sweetened condensed milk and whole milk, and then you just make a traditional cake batter. And then you bake that off, and then the magic starts after you bake the cake and you let it cool. You make this sauce with heavy cream and sugar, and you heat that together, and then you pour it on top of the cake, and you let it soak into the cake overnight. So this cake is actually best made a day or 2 ahead, and then you keep it in the refrigerator so that sauce has a chance to just soak down through the layers. And then you top it with whipped topping, and what you get is this amazing, super dense, luscious, sweet cake that is absolutely, I mean, it's my favorite dessert, and it's so easy to make, but it's so over the top. It's just wonderful. I love it.
Yeah, I love that you can make it ahead, and the fact that Tres Leches cake is so moist. To me, there's nothing worse than like a dry cake, and you do not get that with the Tres Leches because it the cake absorbs all of those milks, and it's just like you said, luscious. Yeah.
Now, the thing that's cool about the Tres Leches cake is that you can feel that density. You know, when you pick it up, you definitely want to lift with your legs and not your back. It's a super heavy cake. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a hefty dessert. Finally, Scott, can you show us how to make a skillet apple cobbler at home?
Yeah, and this is really, I mean, even for the first time cook, this is a dessert that even the novice can have success with. Again, this is a cake or a dessert that is perfect for kids in the kitchen, tiny hands to help. It's super simple. You make a basic batter of flour, brown sugar, buttermilk. You pour that into a cast iron skillet or an 11x7 baking dish. And then you just put sliced apples and cinnamon on top of that, and you bake it in the oven, and the batter actually comes up and kind of hugs the apples as it settles down into the cake. And it is, this is like classic, comforting dessert that looks and smells. Your whole house just smells of, apples and cinnamon. And I mean, your mouth is watering the whole day while this thing is baking. You could serve it warm, you can serve it cold, so you could make it the day before if you want. It's great with ice cream, it's great by itself. You could substitute pears if you wanted. You could use Granny Smith apples, you can use Red Delicious apples. You could put in pecans or walnuts or almonds if you want. So it's super flexible in terms of adding ingredients that you want. But again, it's just a beautiful, just visually, it looks so beautiful with the apples on top and the cake layer coming up and hugging all that fruit.
Right. I love how the options are endless, and the fact that it looks super fancy, but it's so easy to make. Now, Scott, where can viewers get the recipes that you've shared today?
Well, they can go to eMeals.com, and everyone who goes to eMeals.com can try eMeals for free for 2 weeks, and they have access to all of our different dinner plans as well as our dessert plan, and they'll find the desserts there. But again, it's eMeals.com.
Fantastic. Scott, thanks so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
If you would like some more information on these recipes and other great meals, you can check out their website, as Scott mentioned, and that is the address on your screen. And we will have all of these details posted on ourquadcities.com.